Hello YouTube! It has been 2 weeks since the last time that we last talked, and if you hear construction noises in the background of this video, my neighbor has been sawing all afternoon. There's nothing I can do, sorry. Anyway, so the last couple of weeks have been full of thoughts and introspection and anxiety and panic, just like the last couple of months of my life have been, and I'm not really going to go into that or talk about it or talk about why it's happening or what's been going on, because it's not really worth my time, honestly. Like, yes, me being anxious and having anxiety is an important part of my life, but it's not as important as some of the other awesome things and positive things that I have done in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to tell you about those instead. So in the last 2 weeks, I have helped build that table back over there, helped kind of build the bookcase that's behind me, behind my bow, and almost all of the books on that bookcase are mine, so I organized them and made them super pretty and put all of the people that needed to be next to each other. I made a promise to myself to finish one book a week of all of the books that I have not read from here until I finish the stack, and the stack is stacked on the table and glaring at me violently. And so the 2 books that I have finished since I made that goal to myself were Behemoth by Scott Westerfeld, and then because Scott Westerfeld and Justine Larbalestier are married, I read Magic or Madness by Justine Larbalestier. And then because they're married, I'm going to go in and read Goliath after that. That's the book I'm starting tomorrow when I go to the park. One of my other goals is actually to go to the park once a week, because it is a way to guarantee that I am getting at least some exercise, because I have to walk to the park, and 2, it's really pretty and there are dogs and I get to see and enjoy those things, and it helps me be a little bit more social and also enjoy myself a little bit more. And let's face it, reading outside in a park is kind of cool, so there's that. Another thing that I have done for myself is I got myself this cute little bow, and it's not the only bow I got this one too. So the first bow that's in my hair is Ariel's bow. This one is Belle's. I got both of them from an Etsy shop called Ariel's Royal Accessories, and I really like them. They're really awesome. And then of course I'm wearing purple to sort of flesh out Ariel's color scheme. And yeah, so I've done that. I have also been playing quite a few video games in the last couple of weeks. The main 2 that I have played have been Dungeon Defenders, which is a really great, like one of the few great co-op games that actually requires you to like plan and work together with your co-op partner. And so I've really enjoyed that. The friend I've been playing with has really enjoyed that, and we've really enjoyed working through all of the different characters together and combining them in different ways, and we gave up when there was a giant queen spider that we just couldn't kill. So, oh well. The other video game that I've been playing is, your minds are going to be blown by this. It's called Eternal Sonata, and it's based off of the composer Frédéric Chopin's life and his music and his work, and it's mind-blowing and amazing. So basically the people who developed this game were like, you know what, Chopin's a pretty cool composer, he's got some really good stuff, and also he had kind of a cool life, like it was kind of interesting, and why don't we just take all of his music, write a story around it, include some details from Chopin's life, and make it a video game? Why not? So what they did was they took each piece that Chopin composed and they made it a title of a chapter within the video game. And the video game bounces back and forth between Chopin's life and the story elements that are centered around his pieces. And so as you play through the different movements, at the end of each, you get bits about Chopin's life and his inspiration and the things that led him to making the piece while the piece is playing. And it's so cool. And I'm a huge music nerd, so learning about a composer in this really interactive way where like the entire story is centered around the idea and the sounds that Chopin created, and then hearing about how that piece came into existence, I think that there should be an entire line for all of the composers, honestly. I think that should happen. Yep. So another thing I've been doing is I've watched a bunch of movies. I watched Thor yesterday, and before that it was Wreck-It Ralph, and I also watched Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. I watched a movie called Hugo, which was kind of interesting, but not, I mean, it supposedly won some awards, and it was very meta because it was a film about films from a filmmaker when films began. So that was interesting, but kind of mind-boggling, and I wasn't really a fan of the narration style. But there was that, and I've seen Rise of the Guardians in the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I really liked Rise of the Guardians. It was a little bit different from the story that like I had imagined in my head, but it was still good, and it was really pretty, so I enjoyed that. And one of the other things that I have gotten for myself in regard to like stuff is the Rapunzel and the Doctor poster, which is actually going to go up over the table over there. So yeah, it's up over here right now in its little tube because I haven't unpacked it yet because I don't have the means to put it on the wall. But soon, and there will probably be pictures of that and all kinds of fun stuff. And for those of you who are wondering about my bookcase behind me, if you go to my blog, you can actually see how all of the books were organized to see what I mean when I say that I organized it in cool ways. And yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to the park, and I'm gonna try and keep with this whole positive thinking thing and see where it gets me. So yeah, that's all of the positive stuff that I've done in the last 2 weeks, give or take a few. Until next time, have a great day, and don't forget to be awesome. Bye guys.